on that. And Grace, whatever title I said, she'll write that down. Go ahead, Alicia.
Oh, I was thinking, I'm happy about this subject. I am and I'm trying to buy real estate. And I see all of these videos where you can buy money with at home with no money down, and short sales, different contract, and I want to know what to do.
Pardon me, Alicia. I don't know if you can hear Antonio.
Okay, yeah, so I was trying to make sure. Yeah, hey, Alicia, you breaking up. I thought that was just me. I was hoping.
Me too. I thought it was me too.
Okay, yeah. So we'll let her come back. We'll let her come back and ask. I thought I literally was closing tabs and all sorts of stuff. All right, there she go. Alicia, you there? We'll get her to come back in a second. Now, Maurice, last class you mentioned, we touched on this briefly, but we're going to break this down. You mentioned that there's so many resources out there for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Different states that got this down payment assistance, I believe is what you called it.
It was, yes, sir.
Good. So let's break that down again.
Okay.
That'll give Alicia time.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
So in most states, there's going to be, especially in the beginning of a new year, there's going to be replenishment of funds. There's down payment assistance programs in most states. They have state funding that you can go to. And like the two I mentioned for New Jersey, there's about 15,000 in one fund, and you can combine them a lot of times. It can be combined. So often you can get your whole down payment. All you need to do is be credit worthy. As long as you're credit worthy, which haven't, and you can get all of what you need to walk into that property with some down payment assistance programs. I just want to make you aware of some of what the down payment assistance programs are. There's state, and then there's local ones. With the crash in 2008, a lot of those banks that got in trouble with all those with the discrimination and all of some of the things, there was a lot of lawsuits that went out. A lot of those lawsuits are coming due now, and they're just now getting paid for them. So a lot of the funding. I'm not going to name banks names, but there were some banks that are in particular that were bought out, and they had a certain amount of money that they had to disperse, and it had to be allocated to certain areas and certain demographic areas. So you can do a search and find what may be available in your area for local banks. What I will do though is I'll get a list of what is available that I do know of, the banks that may have some funding, because some of the areas, some banks are in some areas and some areas they're not. So one of the local banks was bought out by another bank, and their primary location was up in New York. But what happened was the bank that bought them out was a national bank. So those fundings, they had to be allocated, and there were certain areas that they were allocated to. It was that was a local pool of money. That was $20,000 that you could get as a down payment assistance, not including the state funding. So those are some of the sources that you can get resources from that would afford you the ability to be able to not use your own money. So
no, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Do you mind here sometime this week, next week, grabbing a few links that we can post up? Okay, good.
Yep.
Even if you can find a few during this call, that'll work too. Okay. He's going to help you all out either this in the next 7 days to get you some resources, be it links and stuff, so you can learn how to get down payment assistance. Now, let me ask you a question towards that so you can open up more. Do you have to be a first-time home buyer to get this assistance?
Great question. Now, the first-time home buyer thing is each of those down payment assistance are going to come with different stipulations. Some of this, and it depends. So to be short answer, it depends on which one it is. And the first-time home buyer, a lot of times it doesn't mean that it's your first time buying. It could mean that you haven't bought a house within 33 months. So as long as you haven't purchased a house within a time period, usually that's going to be 33 months, 36 months, I'm pardoning. So it's 36 months. They still consider you fitting that criteria. So it depends on the product, and each of them going to have their own stipulations because it's granted money to you. So they're going to come with stipulations. That's the other part of it. The stipulation may be that you have to stay in that house for 5 years or 10 years, and then it's forgiven. So I don't want it to make it seem, I want, be real about it, make it seem like it's money they're given to you. But if you plan to stay in the home, or let me put it this, that you don't sell the home. Let me clarify that you don't, if you sell the home within that time period, and I'm gonna have a link for you before we end today of where you can go to get Bank of America's stuff. That one I do I know it's available, and I'll get that link for you before the end of the class for Bank of America's. And that's the different banks have different products, especially right now. Wells Fargo, I believe, just released something, if I'm not mistaken. I know it. Wells Fargo just released some down payment assistance funds that are available. But I do know of Bank of America, and I'll get Wells Fargo's for us for next week for you.
No, that's good stuff.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. I'm sure Bank of America and Wells Fargo will appreciate our generosity. Yes, I'm pretty sure of that. Now Alicia, did you want to try to jump back in and ask your question? And then we'll see if we're still in the same area, and then I'll address it too.
I don't know. Zoom knocks me out and then bring me back in, so I don't know what's going on there. But
it's all right. We can hear you right now.
Yeah.
I want to get in real estate. I don't have much money to invest. I've been watching these people. I buy houses, sell houses, short sales and contracts, different things like that. I want to know how to do it. Being that I am in Memphis, Tennessee, we have a lot of homes vacant, and I'm sure they're out of town investors. And I'm just trying to see how can I do it. I need to retire in less than 5 years. And per Antonio, real estate is the way to gain financial freedom.
Thanks.
So I want to know, how can I do it with no money and big profits?
No doubt.
Do you know what the median price, what's the going price? Have you researched to see what the median price, what price point in Memphis? How much does it cost to buy a home in Memphis? We did a class there.
Okay.
About how much would it cost if you to
we
buy
have areas.
Mm-hmm. So would you say 50,000, 60,000?
What do you want?
Look it up.
What kind of home do you want? Yeah, you can purchase a house for 50,000. It'll be in a certain area. But you could purchase a house for 50,000, depending. It may need some work, but you could purchase a house for as low as 12,000.
So
according to 250,000.
According to Zillow, the medium. Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
According to Zillow, the medium. Hold on, let me just show you because I like people to say, "Oh, okay, he's telling facts."
Yeah.
Zillow medium home value in Memphis is $95,405.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's what we're dealing with.
Now, Alicia, you said you want to get into it. You're looking to do it as an investor, get into it from an investment.
Hold on. Let's do this. Let's answer her question in a second.
Okay.
Let's answer her question in a second. Let's finish the one you were starting with, and I'm writing them down, which is down payment assistance. Let's do that. Michelle G, what's your question?
I'm sorry, I'm driving also, so if you hear the noise. It wasn't really a question, it was kind of a statement, because I do know that the various housing housing organization, or like from Missouri, it's Missouri Housing and Development Commission.
Exactly.
They do have different grants and different, like he was saying, the first time home buyers. They have other grants, and then on the city level, they have the Dream Home grant in Kansas City. So my question to that is, how can you really get into that? Because I know that they tend to go towards developers than individuals. So how can you get that from them?
That's
Okay.
you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So now you said that there's the development part. Usually, the down payment assistance is more geared towards home buyers. Like I'm looking at Bank of America's website right now, and it says up to $7,500 closing cost help, up to $10,000 down payment help. Qualified home buyers receive 3% of the purchase price. So those are two separate departments. One of the first steps to do is you would reach out to finding out which programs is available in your area. And I guess the biggest question would be, which of them can be combined? Which of them can be combined? So you have down, and usually though, when you find what the state is offering, any bank is able to use that product. So a lot of times what happens is you might have a loan officer that you're working with, or someone, let's say using Bank of America for the sake of using, argument. Let's say if you're working with Bank of America, you're having a pre-approval with Bank of America, and they are going to give you $7,500 or $10,000 down, and you know that the state of Memphis or whatever state you live in has another program. The main thing is you want to find out what are they able to be combined, and then your loan officer, you can let them know, and a lot of times they'll be able to combine that. So if you're already working with that officer or that person, bank or whoever it is, it's been countless times where they'll just go ahead and say, okay, we don't have that product, but thanks for letting us know that it's available, and then they'll use it, and they'll use that product. So really, it's going to be work that we have to do. It's going to be work on you to do the research of it to find what's available in your area. And you give me the state, and I'll definitely look it up and see, because and I can do what I can do on my end, what state. So I know Memphis, and to see what Memphis has, and then in addition to what Bank of America and what Wells Fargo have. I do know that they both of those have strong initiatives to get money into people's hands to make sure that that those hardest hit areas get into homes, because there's a wide gap in Black home ownership and the minority home ownership in those areas. So part of that is designed for that, for the sake of getting, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that brought up another question. So, because I'm kind of like Antonio on this aspect. Mm-hmm. I know the single dwelling homes. However, what about multifamily?
You can do up to 4 units on your first one. So I would recommend you going up to the 4-unit max. Get the first one as a 4-unit, because if you're breaking through and you're going to use other people's money and using, that money as down payment assistance money, I would try to find the largest 4-unit, or to maximize it. If it's 2 units is popular in that area, if you can find. But according to what fits that criteria is 1 to 4 unit. Anything above 4 unit becomes commercial, and that's a whole different category. So the maximum that you're going to be able to use that money for is up to 4 units. Yeah.
Okay.
That particular pool of money.
I need to have a one-on-one conversation with you then, because that commercial part of it, I need to know.
Okay.
And we'll definitely talk about it. You ain't got much of a choice to talk about it. because I don't like single family dwellings.
That
Yeah,
yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you because
yeah,
when you ain't got a tenant in there, that's all you.
yeah,
All
buddy,
you.
that is for sure. So we'll definitely, you can have a one-on-one conversation. We'll definitely talk about it in here too. Now, before we double back to Alicia's question, or double forward, I should say, I didn't answer that because I don't know nothing about no down payment assistance because I ain't that type of brother. You understand? I just go out and go kill the gazelle. That's just always been my mentality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. I just, I get up and go kill the gazelles. I don't know nothing about that. This is how. Here is a way. Two of my first properties, I bought one for $1. I told that last week, so I won't stretch that out. But I'll tell you how I did a second one. But I found that what should be said about the one with the $1, and this is to be for all properties, I found the seller's motivation. You all shouldn't sleep on that. Every seller is motivated. Actually, every seller is motivated by something, but you want to find a motivated seller, and it's easier to purchase real estate that way. For instance, if I was to foreclose on a property or something, it wouldn't bother me at all. Because for one, I wouldn't even get set up into nothing like that before. I mean, again, because I'm too smart for that now. But it just wouldn't bother me because I'm non-emotional about real estate. So if you're trying to come and save me from the face of real estate or face of foreclosure, I'm just not motivated by that. What I would be motivated by is getting back my original investment, because my pride, even though that, I'm not emotional about it, but my pride would bring any emotion, says, well, at least I'm not going to lose money on this investment. Now, I'll never put myself in this situation, but we're just acting as if I did. So it would be better in motivation for me is to find out what do I have in the property, not what I put down to the bank. What do I have in the property? And that would definitely motivate someone like me. Now, of course, that can flip. With each property had different motivations, but nevertheless, find your seller motivation. That's what I said about the $1 property. Here's how I did the second property. It is something that should be written in textbooks. If it's not in textbooks, then it will be soon. If it is, I ain't copying off nobody. It's just crazy. And someone else is out there as crazy as me. I wanted this property, and there were 3 trees in front of it. And I don't know nothing about no trees, Jerome. I don't know. Trees don't do nothing in Texas but give me shade. That is it. And depending on the time of the year, have a lot of spiders. And I don't like that either. Right? So it's either shade or spiders. I like the shade. I don't like the spiders. And in my part of Texas, shade, spiders, or roaches, the big roaches, okay? Because we got palm trees type Texas down here. Now, what I did was I drove all the way to Galveston from a city that I was in, and there's a lumberjack company on 45th and something like 0.5. And this company, I said, hey, how much would you like? How much can you come out and get this? I got a deal going on. Can you come appraise this wood and see if you use this? Because by profit, you can use it. I need the down payment, and you can have whatever's left. Ask me how much I needed for the down payment. It wasn't nothing. I was still doing small stuff. I only needed $2,500. Okay. I just didn't have $2,500. Let's be honest here, okay? $2,500 back then was gazillions of dollars. You understand? To me, you know what I'm saying? Back then, gazillions of dollars. So what I did is they liked the trees, and then I did the whole for sale by owner, which is, I love those kind of deals. Did the whole owner financing for sale by owner. Got control of the property. Now I could do stuff with it. I put in a renter, which I'll come back to that here in a second on Alicia's question. And then I let them cut down those trees. They gave me $2,500 and profited something like $1,600 or whatever 16,000, whatever they got. I don't even know what they got. I love to tell you, whatever it is, it was worth it to them to give me my down payment and keep that wood. That's called creative financing. You understand? I don't know about no down payment assistance. That is hot. I know how to see a gazelle and go kill it. That gazelle is running, and I gotta run faster than the slowest gazelle. That's it. I ain't gotta run faster than the fastest gazelle. Just run faster than the slowest gazelle. So hopefully that helps somebody, because that is exactly what I did. I got plenty of more, but we'll go from there then. Lisa, we're coming now to you. Your question was, I erased it. What was it? Oh, how do I retire in 5 years? I'm going to get into real estate, and I don't have much, even though you got all that money. You know what I'm saying? Let me look at you. You got a $15,000 blouse on right now, all that money. You know, we know you got that money, right? But nevertheless, so he's sharing his screen. Won't you tell us about what you're sharing real quick before we answer her question, how to retire? Maurice, you unmute yourself and walk us through your screen. Yeah.
My apologies. Okay.
All right. You got whatever speaker you got on.
Yes.
There you go.
So I just wanted to get you to the website to where the down payment assistance would be for finding. That's with Bank of America. And if you go to the bottom of it, and I guess I didn't know I was going to share the screen there. I really wanted to just copy to paste the link to drop in the link to you, but it would have been here, the down payment assistance. And what happens is they have where you can put in your zip code, and you're able to, once you put in your zip code, it'll tell you what programs are available for your area. So that's what I wanted to, I didn't know I was going to share the screen right then and there, but down payment assistance programs, definitely for Bank of America. It'll allow you to plug in your zip code, and those funds will be, they'll tell you what's available dollar-wise in your particular area.
Cool. Sounds good to me. Appreciate you. Now, next time you share your screen, you can show us your social security number and your bank account PIN. We'll appreciate that. Right? We appreciate that. Now, how to retire in 5 years. I'm going to start this one off, and then I'll let you jump in there from a broker perspective, whatever knowledge you got. This is what I would do if I don't, which I'm trying to frame all of this, and we don't have much money to do it, because that's where a question comes from. That's also how we frame this class. First thing I do is try to get my first property. We already covered what you needed, and that was the name of the class, what you need to get started in real estate. We already framed what you needed last class, so we're building up from here. This is what I would tell all of you. Well, excuse me. This is what I did. And this is the honest to God truth. This is what I did. I went into a local newspaper down here called the Green Sheet. It's just a free paper that you can get. They don't even lock the bin. It's just free. It just is what it is. I know people that get a couple of them and then lay them down for the dogs to, do their due in the kitchen floor or something. And I went and looked for sale by owner. So write this down in chat. For sale by owner, owner financing, rent to own. All mean the same thing. You know what? I'll say four of them. For sale by owner, FSBO, rent to own. I'm missing one. I just said it. Owner financing. They all mean I put FSBO as a separate one because you can see it in the newspaper. Because remember, when people put stuff in the newspaper, they give you like 75 characters, or you pay for an ad, right? You got 35 characters to get your message across or something like that. So you'll see it anyway like this. I've never seen it any other way. Maurice, have you seen it any other way? This for sale by owner, FSBO, owner financing, rent to own.
No, maybe distressed properties, estate sales or individuals finding.
Okay. Yeah.
wills.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
because that's a lot to addressing the motivation of the seller. Finding the motivated seller, someone that has an estate, estate sale.
No
That's a lot.
doubt. No doubt. I typically would have stayed away from estate sales when I first started off because now this is opinionated, but when it's an estate sale from where I come from, they want all their money because it's 9 kids splitting their grandmother's property or they mama's property, and they all trying to cash out. I'm not telling you that's how it work in your community. I'm telling you how it work in mine. Okay? How it works in mine. That's how it works in mine. Now, let's see. Find a for sale by owner, and typically it's $2,500 down, $5,000, something like that, right? I've never really did a for sale by owner that was a lot down because they're banking. They got it. They got the down payment high enough to weed out, some riffraffs, but low enough for someone that's attractive to a for sale by owner. And then they're banking on the monthly payments. Their cash flow. It's cash flow for them. Okay, it's cash flow for them. This is what I did. I put $2,500 down, and I rented it out. So please follow these step of instructions, Alicia, as I give them to you. Step 1. Okay, all right. They say, hold on, they right.
Just to mention too, to that,
Go ahead.
To your point, one thing that happens in New Jersey, right? And it's like you said, is real estate is really local, and it's really local in your area. Is really, you want to know what your area is doing. New Jersey has this law that taxes, taxes are the same probably everywhere. Taxes supersede the even the mortgage. So if you don't pay the taxes, they'll take your property for the taxes, even if you got a mortgage on it. So that takes first position. So what they have in the state of New Jersey is if you are behind in your taxes and I pay your taxes for 2 years, there is what's called, I'm able to charge you up to 18% interest or foreclose on you in 2 years. Now, I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money off of that, and do that process because they either get their money back plus 18% interest, the taxes. But in that instance, you have to have at least the ability to cover what's owed on the taxes and 2 more years of the taxes.
Right.
So $5,000, yeah. So that's one. If whatever the taxes are, if it's $3,000 a year and they're behind, let's say 1 quarter, you at least at minimum you're going to be paying $6,000 plus whatever they're behind. But you get that property free and clear. You can foreclose on that property or 18% on top of what your money is. So it's a lot of niche things that you can do to come up with creative financing, which leads me to the next part of that is researching and finding out who owns the property free and clear. And then presenting what you said to them, hey, I'll give you $2,500 down, and they own it free and clear. I research what the rents are. Okay, then I marry it with a tenant and put the tenant in there, and if I'm making a profit, that's a way to get. And that's
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. No, I'm glad you said that. Without a doubt, this is step 1. Everything me and Maurice just said. Okay, but I'll break it down to you. Find a property. Okay, that's what we're saying. Okay, find a property. Now he's got some research behind it, right? Market value. We'll get to all that. He said something that Jerome, how that saying go? How the old folk in Texas said, you put the cart before the horse. Is that how you say it? All right, don't put the cart before the horse. That's how you say it. Okay, young folk, don't go out there and put the cart before the horse. What Maurice said was, then I marry it with a renter. All right, this is very important. Step 2, find a renter. All right. So step 1 was find a property. Step 2 was find a renter. Did I say talk to the person? Nope. That ain't what I said. I didn't say make any phone calls. Sure did not. I didn't say research. But you go research the property when you find the property anyway. That's it. So do me a favor, recopy and paste that, Grace. Put step 1, find the property, and then parentheses, research due diligence. Just put due diligence in there, and that'll cover all those bases. And right after this, Maurice, we're going to talk about tax liens because Kiara put it in the thing, and we'll end on tax liens. So we talk about 3 things effectively today: down assistance programs. Actually, we talked about 4 things: down assistant programs, creative finances, and now we're talking about what steps. Antonio, tell me what to do. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. I ain't trying to think. Tell me what to do. All right, that's it right there. Find a renter. Here's what I'm attempting to tell you, okay? When you find a renter, you are securing your investment. It makes no sense to find a property, buy the property, and then go find a renter. You don't want to be without money for a second. Not a nanosecond. Not a fraction. You do not, Jerome, go buy the property and say, okay, I'm going to pay the first couple of months rent until I find someone. You need to go find another mentor because there is absolutely no reason. Everybody hear me. Do not unhear me. I sound like Adonia's dad right now. Do not ever lose money. Okay, that's why. So I'm saying find a property. The second thing I'm saying is secure your money. So what you're going to do, because the property is going to have an address. Actually, it probably won't have an address on it. It's going to have a phone number. Once you find a renter, you understand? Now, Antonio, how can I find a renter? I don't know the address. I just need you to get this here. Step 1, find a property. And the property's going to say 321 or something like that. 322, 3, 2.5, 1, something like that. Okay, 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1 garage. And then you're gonna make a post on Facebook. You're gonna get on your phone and say, is there anybody I know looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath in this city? They ain't gotta see it. You gotta get some leads. Well, I am talking in this place. Okay? Now, step 3, call the guy or the girl who got the property. Okay? Now, call them. Okay? Now you're going to call. Let me just pause very quick parenthetically. Can we just all come together and appreciate Pamela Norris? It is 2 a.m. over there. And we can just appreciate Pamela Norris. She got spoiled over Christmas holiday. All that sleeping late. Yeah, that's it. And walking around barefoot. Now she got on shoes and socks and clothes and stuff. I understand. We love her so much. 2020 was a breakout year. For what we anyway, let me be quiet for that. Now, that was my parenthetical pause. I just want to give my friend some good props. You're going to now call the property manager. No, Maurice said it a better way. Who owns the title free and clear? Who owns the deed free and clear? That's what you call it. Then you're going to do is you're going to ask whatever questions you want to ask. But the most important question you want to ask is, what's the address? Step 4 is absolutely. Let's to the side. Step 3. So you can put just put step 4. What's the address? You want to ask what's the address? What's the address, kind sir? I'd like to come see it. Step 5, you got some options. You can either go see it yourself, or if you got a serious person from step 2, take them with you. Ask me what I would do. I would do the first thing I said, I ain't taking them with me because I'm trying to look like the owner the whole time. Help me, somebody. I'm talking. All right. That's step 5. What step did I just give you? All right. Next step. Step 6. This is a thinking step. Realize that you are simply transferring your debt to the renter. Boy, I am talking. I need y'all to hear me. This is why I want to look like the owner. Because now you ain't doing nothing in this step. You just want to come to grips in this step. I ain't taking on no debt. You are. Come on now. That's why I said in step 2, I should have said, find who paying your bills. I know Adonia like that kind of talk, because we were talking about that yesterday. Alicia, in step 2, find out who gonna pay your bills. Do you understand? All right. Because in the due diligence phase, you're gonna know what the price is. You get it? Or they're gonna say it's gonna say, for sale for this much or not. You can find that out in step 2. Now, so step 6, you're just thinking. You're just saying, don't be emotional, Antonio. Your debt is now their debt. Thou shalt not payeth your own debt. That's in a sacred text somewhere. Payeth. You put it just in King James Version too. There you go. Payeth thine own debts. There it is. I like the way that sounds better. That sounded like it came out of Richest Man in Babylon. All right. Now, step 7. Go view the property. And take pictures because they'll let you. And put in here, in parentheses, y'all, act like you can afford it and keep your mouth shut. Don't go there and say, I'm doing the Antonio Smith strategy, man. I can't really. Now, when they ask, can you? I sure can. Sure can. What's the down payment? $3,500. Sure can. Yes, I can. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you what to do in subsequent steps. Get ready, Maurice. I'm going to throw you an alley-oop. Okay? Now, what step am I? So step 7, go do the right, take pictures. Then step 8, take those pictures and that energy. Go talk to Alicia in step 2 because she is looking for a 3-bedroom. It's making some sense now, ain't it, Alicia? Because you asked, how do I retire in 5 years? It makes some sense, ain't it? Okay, all right. Now, you're going to take all those pictures and you're going to show it on your phone. Or you're going to text them what they look like. You're not going to show them the address. You're not going to give them the address. That's irrelevant. You're going to show them what it looked like. Then they're going to say, I like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to drive by. Step 9. When they say yes, you are then going to take them to the property again with the owner or ride them by it since they already seen pictures. Up to you. This time, get to see it because I was going to say ain't nobody buying houses without seeing it, but I do that all the time, so don't worry about that because I don't need the numbers just need to work. I don't need to see nothing, but don't worry about that. That's a whole different type of buyer. That's not even a buyer. That's an investor. That's a whole different thing. All right. So anyway, you're taking them by. Everybody follow what I'm saying? You're going to take them by. They're going to say, oh, Deanna's going to go, oh my God, this is so amazing. It's so beautiful. Look at the kitchen. Yay. Right. And then step 10, talk terms. Easy. Where did you find out the terms at? When you talk to the owner. you just find the address. You said, how much down? How long? What interest rate? I got you. You get it? Now, we're going to put out some numbers real quick. Put these numbers in chat. Don't put them in steps. Just put them in the chat. Now, the numbers are going to be $2,500 down, 10% interest. Comes out to $600 a month. It's what you're going to pay for, and I'm thinking Memphis price. I'm literally picking Memphis prices on purpose. I looked at your, okay, this is, all right. So $600 a month.
You're right.
Yeah, because I looked up the media, right? I looked up the media. $600 a month, and that's going to cover the taxes, the insurance, and the mortgage. Everybody got me? Now, those are the numbers we're going to work with. Step 11. Tell the renter you want $3,500 down. Look what I did. Well, I did just make $1,000. And if I got any closing costs, I made them pay for it. Now, I probably don't have, because this is for sale by owner, probably ain't going to be no closing costs. But if I got to fix an AC or something real quick, but if I don't got to, I'm going to McDonald's and supersizing it. I got $1,000. Everybody understand what I'm saying? I can afford a drink today. Actually, we're going to Chick-fil-A. We got Chick-fil-A money today. There it is. There it is. We're not going to Chick-fil-A. We're not going to Chick-fil-A. I'm going to charge them $3,500 down. Why didn't I? And Tony, why you ain't say $5,000? We could have got $5,000 because I want them in. I'm not trying to make no money on the front end. Antonio just won't let me do it without making money at all. Y'all hear what I said? Antonio just won't let me do this without making some money. That's it. Ain't no such thing as break even. And stop letting people tell y'all there's such thing as break even. If you break even, your business is going out of business. You're going to tell the renter, hold on, Grace, retype step 11 because I'm going to add more to it. Tell the renter you want $3,500 down, $800 a month. At least $800 a month, or fair rent for that area. And I'll explain why. At least, let me say it this way, at least $200 more than the mortgage, right? More than what you have to pay. Are you following me? Am I saying it right? Basically, I'm trying to make sure you get an extra $200 free and clear every month, at least. So tell the renter that I'm going to, yes, $200 more than the mortgage, the taxes, and the insurance. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yes. The reason why is because Jerome should be cash flowing $200 per month, at least. If you can't cash flow $200, get out the deal. You get it? Now, for $600 during this economy in Memphis, a 3-bedroom house in Memphis for $600 is going to rent for about $1,350. Now, watch this here. Everybody listen. Step 12. Charge full fair rent value. You must charge full fair rent value. Because if you ever go to court, you need to be protected. Don't let them make it on no late fees. You need to protect it. Because if you let them make it on one late fee and you try to then sue them for your money, the judge is going to say you did not uphold your agreement. Therefore, I cannot enforce it now that you want to uphold it because you're mad at them. Happens all the time. Maurice, no, I'm not lying. All right. Now, charge full rent value. Step 13 is a realizing thing. Here is why, put that, Grace. Here is why I'm charging full rent value. But here is why. Just put that. And then you're going to put number one, not a space, just 2 reasons why. Here is why. Reason number 1. It's all step 13 though. All right. Reason number 1 is because I want them to buy the property in 12 months. I'll explain. Reason number 2, because I want my money. Yes. Since you make an extra $200 when you could have made an extra $500. You got credit cards, don't you? Help me, somebody. You understand what I'm saying? Man, that Capital One hit you up every month. Yeah. Somebody else need to be paying Capital One. Now, those are the 2 reasons. Number 2 makes sense too. I want my money. I ain't got to break down number 2 for nobody. Everybody wants their money. And when you spend your money, you want your money's worth. I ain't got to break that down. Number 1 is what I need to break down very briefly. The reason I want Alicia to pay me $1,350. Everybody listening? Because I'm going to convince Alicia legally, morally, and ethically. This is a good deal because it is. They only pay because we're talking about ownership. You're doing for sale by owner from them, from the person who holds it, and then they're doing a rent to own from you. Maurice got it, right? You're doing for sale by owner from them, and then the deed that you have, you're doing that with the deed. The lease you have with them is rent to own. Right? You got me? All right. I got you. You're doing for sale by owner. Owner financing is more accurate. You're doing owner financing with the house with the original owner. You're in owner financing with the original owner. And with your renter, you're in a rent to own agreement. You're basically in 2 agreements. And you can do that. That is legal because you're the one orchestrating the deal and you're the one taking all the risk. The renter has nothing to do. If they walk out, it ain't their fault. They can't. You are responsible for your owner financing. Since you have all the risk, you get to make all the money. Since the owner, the original owner is taking all of the risk, they get to foreclose on you at any time. Whoever takes more risk makes the most money. Now, okay, so yes. You want to convince them to buy the property in 12 months. Why? This is still in step 13. I'm giving you understanding. Because you don't plan on having this property for more than 12 months from the owner. The owner wants 2 things, cash flow and lump sum of money. So when you get into the for sale by owner deal, if they're selling it to you, that means they're not just looking for cash flow. They're expecting you to buy it. So you don't have to ask if they mind selling it, because if they didn't, it would just be rent only. You understand? All right, good. We got that understood. You're going to get it off of them for 12 months. But here's what you're going to do. I'm going to then, Alicia, you better write this down. You love what I'm about to say. Alicia's paying. She's got a bedroom, 2-bath, and a garage. I only paid $35 down. They was going to charge me $30,000 bank. I only need $3,500 down. It's just $1,300 a month. My landlord is cool, right? All this good stuff, and I'm ownership. And in 12 months, with all these on-time payments, I'll own this. And then I'm going to tell Alicia, when you buy this from me, you're going to save almost $800 a month. Taste the soup. Coming to America? Yeah, remember? Okay, all right. Because I want Alicia paying me full rent value, not just to get my money. I want her to know the faster you buy this from me, girl, is the faster you can go pay $600 a month. Remember, she don't know nothing about that $600 a month. That's what I'm paying. And I'm gonna say, listen, when you pay it, you're gonna be projected at about $600 to $700 a month, and that's gonna be taxes, that's gonna be insurance, and that's gonna be mortgage. And you're gonna say, wow. And Alicia's gonna say, well, I'm finna hurry up and buy this from you. And I'm gonna say, you should hurry up and buy this from me. You get it? I made $1,000 on the front end from the down payment. Write this down, Grace. I made $1,000 from the front end from the down payment. I cash flow $500 a month for 12 months. That's $6,000. I made $7,000. That ain't no good deal. I cash flowed $6,000 and I made $1,000. That's not a good deal. I mean, it's not a great deal, but it's a good deal because I ain't losing no money. I got $6,000. But I only got $2,500 in the property. Actually, I ain't got nothing in the property because I didn't use my money. Don't forget that. Let's not forget that. So I basically got an infinite return. But that ain't what we care about, Alicia. You asked how to retire. This is what we care about. The house cost $94,000. I rented to own it and sold it at $150,000 because that's its value now. I just made, Grace, the difference between $150,000 and $95,000. It sounds like $55,000, no?
Yeah.
Now, do you want that little measly $7,000 on the front end, or do you want that $50,000 on the back end? That's right. That's right. You get it? So now I paid off the $95,000. The original owner, walks away with $95,000. They ain't got no problem with that. They walk away with $95,000. I walk away with $55,000 at a year. Remember, amateurs focus on money on the front end. The wealthy focus on money on the back end. That is my lesson for the day. We'll do tax liens, like Alicia Clapping. You're very welcome. Did I teach you the blueprint? You do that 5-6 times to see if you retire in 5 years. Unmute your mic and show them all them notes you got.
I got my notes. I'm going to get started in the Sunday paper.
I know that's right. Y'all see that?
My notes.
That's it. I did that. That's how I got here.
I'll let you know.
That's
Keep you informed.
You let me know. Look, I want some of this water. When you say get all that money, only thing you owe me is a couple of bottles of these right here. That's all I want. Couple of them bottles. That is it. I ain't even tripping. You can keep your money and just give me a case, the 6-pack or something. I don't know, right? However it is in CVS or something. However it come in there. I don't know how it come. Go to Sam's maybe or something. I don't know. That's it. We'll do right now. In fact, I'll write it down. Tax liens. We'll cover tax liens and other stuff tomorrow, next Tuesday for Kiera. Kiera, this beat is automatic super. Sierra, no? I know. I was just saying. All right. Anyway, Maurice, take it home, man. Add value to that with all your knowledge. Take it home for us. You got the last words.
Thank you. The best takeaway from what you just mentioned was for the part that of how what you did was in between that you added. I can't tell you how many times I've taken on a property as a management that the owner don't know that in 12 months the importance of getting the actual value of what. So that $1,350 brought the property value up. So a lot of times homeowners that may not know what they have as value, they don't know that, well, yeah, I'm keeping the rent low because they pay me. I know them. And so they keep the rent $600-700 a month, not realizing that they're affecting the actual value of that property, that the value is in charging the rents that you should be getting each month, increasing the monthly rent each month. So it's not even like what you did was, and I mentioned last week about the book that I read was how buying real estate when you're broke and bankrupt. One of the very first things they mentioned was go in and do exactly what Antonio said. Go into that property, pick up the phone and call as if you got the money to buy it. and get that person to have you. They said to call in one of the instances, said call a real estate agent, get them to take you to show you the property, and get in and walk in there and remove that fear of that, overcome that fear of with the property. So walking into it and removing that, and you walk into it and then you take the pictures, and it's, you know, owning that process, I guess, is the main point. You know, owning the process of, you know, again, I bought my first property. I didn't have the money. I had $1,000. Well, I had it at the end of the week. You know, I had at the end of the week, I knew I was a barber, so I knew I would make that. By Saturday, I had the $1,000. I would be able to cut that check on Monday. So I went into that process doing that, went into the property as if I could afford it, and I was able to afford it, put the down payment, and the rest happened throughout the process. But, you know, so what I liked about this is you actually made the value in between. You know, you made the value, you brought it up. And that's what, you know, that's at the core of it, you know, is really is increasing the value and getting, and its highest and best use is the language that we like to use in real estate. Is highest and best use is at the core of when you're dealing with real estate. And as any investor, that's your sole purpose, you know, is to get that property and bring the value of it up. And one of the most overlooked things, I think, is not collecting the right amount of rents. You know, the correct amount of rents you should be collecting, you know, on a monthly basis. So that was one of the points that stood out in finding and going through that process. And, you know, I think the 2 points is owning the process, going to that property, and identifying the properties that, you know, find those properties that are owned, you know, free and clear, and that maybe, you know, it'd be owned free and clear, or that the process will work for. So it's not going to be every property that'll work for it, but there's going to be specific properties that the process would definitely work.
Right, and I'm only looking for those. I'm only looking for the ones that solve my broke problem.
That's right.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. I don't need every property in Memphis. I need the ones that solve my problem. I'm Alicia. I'm trying to retire in 5 years.
Nice.
Now let me ask you a question to add value back to stay in the same lane. What do you think about step 2 when I immediately transfer my debt up front? What do you want to say to that, add to that, and what's the importance of that?
Okay. You're talking about identifying the renter, right? Or
That's right. That's right.
So, So, again, one of the examples that I can just speak to, when I first got into the business, I didn't have any inventory, but what I did was there was inventory out there. I put in an ad. That's invaluable, is to have your end user or whether it's going to be, at that point it was Craigslist. Craigslist was popular then. And, you know, now most people stay away from that for tenants and stuff like that, but there's other places. You have different apps, other places that you can utilize to run your ads on. And that's invaluable, is to have that end user. And then what'll happen is you'll be getting phone calls all the time for tenants, and because you'll be known as the person that has places for rent. And especially in this economy right now, the way I'm gonna say this is that a lot of things is geared towards renter. You know, there's some companies out there that is very dominant in the industry of ownership, and ownership is not really popular in certain, you know, this what we're doing here is probably, you know, it's just, I can't stress the importance of it. So, but, you know, with it being so popular for tenancy to be, you know, ownership is not really all that popular. It's important to find a way to make it a reality, right? So I'm just saying that so what I did was I placed an ad. You know, I married the two together without, you know, it was perfectly legal. Like you said, I didn't put an address there because technically, if, you know, I didn't put an address. I had 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and put it out there that this is available. You're going to get a ton of calls. Then at that point, you're going to, you know, qualify them, and, you know, and all that starts a whole nother step, but you're going to get a ton of calls. That way you have an arsenal of people, you know, on standby for you when you, you know, when you complete the other steps, which is to, get the property. And in real estate language, they call that where you have possession of site control. Think of it, site control. When you get site control, and that's really language for where we talked about the commercial stuff in another level, but it's the same principle in residential. To get to the steps here without any of your own money, and you're really marrying the process. You're marrying the process of a person that has a property, they've lived in it, they own it free and clear. The ideal step would be a person that owns it free and clear. They lived in the property, and now that you have a tenant for the property, and you're gonna make that work. So I think that's about it. That's a good
breakdown. No, that's a good breakdown, and that puts us at our hour. I think we added a lot of value. Next week we'll do tax liens, so we'll be ready for that, and we'll help out Kira with that. Kira, if you want to call and ask questions before then, you're more than welcome. We'll take care of you. Maurice, man, this is pretty good, man. Lots of value here. Yeah. Is everyone okay with that? Y'all okay with the value you're getting? We're taking you from the beginning, but we're also making it advanced and practical as well. Good stuff. Well, y'all know me, Antonio T. Smith Jr. You can plant better. You can dominate. We'll see you later, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Pam Norris, for being up before the sun is up. Lee, you and God are up. That is it.
All right. Pitch black.
That's it. All right, everybody.
You should really be famous for every tear you've ever cried, for everything that's ever happened to you, for all the abuse you've ever been through, for the divorce you've ever been through. You should absolutely be famous for that. Yeah, that's how I think. As a matter of fact, that's how most of us great motivational speakers or platform speakers, we are. I speak over 400 times a year. I command over $40,000 a keynote. $40,000 a keynote. I can make $30,000 in 30 minutes. All because my story was one of tragedy. And I've learned how to take it to one of great wealth. I want to teach you that. I want to give to you free, no risk, no charge, no credit card needed. Free 20 hours of how to get famous for telling your story. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate. I'm not sure if you already know this, but you're already absolutely perfect. You're already absolutely great, and you're already living in massive abundance. The most important things that you have is not what you have, it's not what you do, it's what you know. Because the people who do know what you need to know to lead the middle class, they're in the top 1%, and they control 96% of the world's income. 97% of this world is trading time for money, and that is not the way to become rich, it's not the way to become wealthy, and it is absolutely not the way to leave the middle class. There are 7.8 billion people in the world right now, and they all want to learn how to make money and how to leave the middle class. But the way to become a master at anything is to learn all the rules and then bend them to your favor. Right now in this world, there are 2,057 billionaires. Right now. So if you think becoming a billionaire is impossible, that's 2,057 people that have already proved that impossibility incorrect. And if you think that's crazy, there are 46.8 million millionaires in the world, worldwide right now. Now think about that. 46.8 million millionaires, and that number grows 1,730 millionaires every single day. Money is everywhere. You don't need to max out your credit cards. You don't need to borrow from granddad and grandma. Just look behind me. Look at all the wealth sitting behind me in this junkyard. It's insane how much money is everywhere, and you don't need to go out there and beg, borrow, and steal to get it. You just need to know the rules of making money and how to leave the middle class. Essentially, all you need to know is the algorithm of making money, the rules of making money. All you need to know is what to do and how to do it, and you can leave the middle class. Any industry, yoga, golf, underwater basket weaving, clipping fingernails, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is know how to do it, how to get it done, and then find somebody to teach you how to do it, how to get it done, and you will be able to leave the middle class. If you're not getting my point, it's real simple. Whatever you have up here,
as long as you understand the rules of leaving the middle class, as long as you understand how to get money, you can take what's up here and get wealthy from what you already have. Right now, the very thing you know up here is already being searched 1,000 times a second on Google. Someone right now, actually 1,730 people right now are going to become a millionaire from the stuff that you have in your head. Why can't this be you? I mean, it's 1,730 people with your ideas that are no better than you, that are going to leave the middle class, become a millionaire. Why are you not next? So how do we do this? How do we take what you know and apply it to objective money-making secrets and then allow you to leave the middle class? How do we take you from where you are and let you escape to where you want to go? So how do we make all this money, or take all this knowledge from the Warren Buffetts, from the Elon Musk? How do we take everything that everyone before you has done, and how do we take all of that and then put it in your head so you can leave a legacy for your family? My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. 32 years ago, I lived in a trash can. That's right, from 6 to 14, I had no running water, no electricity, no anything, and somehow I'm in the top 1% today. Not because I had the right background, not because I had a silver spoon in my mouth, simply because being homeless made me learn how to make money. I retired when I was 29 years old. I'm more than likely younger than you. I'm one of the top 1% income earners in one of the richest countries in the world. What I learned how to do when I was 6 years old was learn how to generate enough money to eat some cookies so I wouldn't die to death from starvation. From there, I learned how to go from cookies to a meal. From a meal to clothes to shelter to everything else that supplied my necessary needs. When I was 6, I was forced to learn how to make money, and now that's what I'm going to do and help you do. I've seen amazing results. I have my own economy, I've homeschooled my own children, and I wrote a book that teaches you every single thing that I know about making money, every single thing that other people know about making money, and most importantly, all the stuff that we don't tell you. Because the truth is, and you know it like I know it, the most honest, the most hardworking, unselfish people on planet Earth live in the middle class. Yet, your honesty, your unselfishness, your devout religion-going self is not enough to get to the top 1%, and that's not fair. The second half of my life has been not about how much money I make, but how I will be remembered from all the money that I have made. And I've been trying to teach everybody how to get out the middle class. I'm the crazy guy famous on the internet for trying to create 100,000 millionaires. I've created 8 so far. I got a 9th one on the way, all the way from India. That's pretty cool. And what I want to tell you is something very simple. It's been hard. It's been absolutely hard to help people leave the middle class, not because of the people, because the system would rather keep you being someone else's money instead of you having your own economy and having the money come find and flow to you. It was frustrating because I knew that anybody can make money. And if you knew what I knew, you would change your life. Over the last few years, I've built a large following of over 500,000 people every month that pay me for me to give them advice. Well, that's been exciting for me. And the cool thing is I've created thousands of six-figure earners. I've created millionaires. I've created people who can live their dreams and hold on to their legacies. And now my eyes are on you to create you to what you need to be great. I have been teaching my principles and these principles to hundreds of thousands of people around the world, every country, all continents, and anyone who has taken them seriously, written them down, and applied them have a 100% success rate of leaving the middle class. I've taught these secrets to my following, my inner network, and I've watched them go from 4 figures to 5 figures, 5 figures to 6 figures, 7 figures, all the way to 8. Everything that I've ever learned from millionaire mentors, billionaire mentors, and everything I learned from being homeless, and everything that got me into the top 1%, I have placed inside of a book. To date, it is the longest book that I've ever written, the most best book that I've ever written, And that book is called The Richest Man and the Trash Can, and I'm offering it to you today for free. This book is going to show you how to become wealthy into the top 1% and leave the middle class. This book is going to give you a step-by-step plan if you're 30 years old, all the way to 70 years old, how to get into the top 1%. If you're a teenager, how to get to the top 1%. If you're a millennial, how to get to the top 1%. It's going to teach you how to make 6 figures immediately, teach you how to get to $1 million immediately, and all that good stuff. Plus, I'm going to give you the 36 objective laws of leaving the middle class. Plus, I'm going to give you every last one of my secrets that have made me rich. You have to understand that leaving the middle class is the most important fight that you're going to have in your life. And to be honest with you, and you can kind of relate to this, it almost takes $450,000 a year just to be broke in America. And that's just in America. If you don't leave the middle class, which is actually an illusion, then you are going to have a really hard time. Think about it for a second. Most of you going to be watching this are going to be baby boomers, and you've been sold a bad check. They lied to you. Your retirement was not enough for you to live comfortable, and I'm going to give you this book for free so you can figure out how to triple your retirement and then quadruple your retirement, and then, as Grant Cardone would say, 10x your retirement so you can live the life that's worthy of you. I want you to remember that leaving the middle class is the most important battle that you could ever face in your entire life, especially for your family. So consider this video, this book, your friendly tap on the shoulder. I want to send you a free copy of this book because I believe that abundance is your birthright. I believe that abundance is freedom, and I believe that this book is right for you. In fact, I believe in that so much that I will send you the book for free. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. I'll eat the cost. I'll take the loss. And all you have to do is get the book and dominate your reality right now and apply the principles so you can be the best person for your life that is yours. Fill out the form sitting right there to the right. Go ahead, dominate your reality. I can't wait to send you my book. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to have you as someone that's been on the journey with me. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plan better. You can dominate.